welcome back to Homestead Heart. And today we're canning some salmon. Oh yes we are. But y'all, this ain't just any salmon. Alright? This ain't just any salmon. Today we are canning some smoked Cajun salmon. Oh yes we are. Let's go ahead and get to this. Alright y'all, so what you're gonna need is some salmon. Alright? As much as you want to can, or as much as you can in a session or two, that's how much salmon you get. Alright, I'm starting with 10 pounds of pink salmon. Alright, now my salmon doesn't have the skin on. I wish it did, but it does not. The skin on salmon is so much more expensive than the skin off, right? Because your omega-3s, your oil, sits underneath that skin layer, right? In between the skin and the fish. That's where the majority of that oil sits, which is absolutely amazing for your health. Okay? So you all, I don't have that. I'm using what I got. Yeah, 10 pounds. And these fillets are about, these are 6-ounce fillets. Each one of them is 6 ounces, okay? And mine was frozen, not fresh, but frozen. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to show you how I'm going to season this up. This, y'all, is going to be good. All right, it's gonna be good. Let's get to it. So you all, to begin, I'm going to tell you what you're going to need. Very simple ingredients, okay? Very simple ingredients. Salt, pepper, I'm using white pepper. You're gonna need Cajun seasoning for Cajun salmon, okay? Alright, now I'm using my favorite, Tony Satchels. What y'all know about that? But you got Slap Your Mama, that's out there, right? I got that too, right up here. I'm telling you, I got a lot of them. I got Slap Your Mama. I got the other Cajun seasoning. I got several, right? Because I'm like, if I run out of one, I need a backup. But this is my favorite. Tony Satchels. Yeah. Yeah. Much as I advertise their stuff, they need to send me a case of this, okay? That's what they need to do. Yeah. Anyway. Also, you all, you're going to need some liquid smoke. We can't smoke this outside. I don't have a smoker. We got to do what we can do with what we got. So, I'm using the hickory flavor. You can use whichever flavor you like, but I am a fan of this hickory flavored liquid smoke. Alright, y'all, so what I'm going to do, I got my trusty little brush right here. I love this little brush. I'm just going to put some smoke in this right here because it makes it easy. Because if I splash it on the salmon, it just gets too much in one spot. Doing it this way makes it very easy, okay? Alright, you all, so now all I'm going to do is just take my salmon pieces. I'm going to pop them in this pan right here. If I can get to them. These salmon pieces have already been rinsed, okay? Alright, and I'm just going to lay them in the pan just like that. That piece don't look so good. It's very soft. I'm going to get a better piece than that. Alright? Now, let me rinse my hands. I prefer to work with one clean hand. Okay? The first thing I'm going to do, you all, is just season the top of my fish with the Cajun seasoning. Okay? Actually, what I should have did first was use my liquid smoke. That's what I do first. And I just brush that on, okay? And that allows for me to put on as little or as much as I want, okay? And that's how I do that. See how easy that is? I'm just brushing it on. Let me bring y'all closer. Sorry about the camera motion, but I want you to see. Okay? just taking it and brushing it on with my little brush. If you don't have a little brush like this, that's fine. You can splash it on. Just be careful because you don't want it to be concentrated just in one spot, okay? This allows me to control how much goes in one particular spot. From this point, I would put on my Cajun seasoning, okay? Then I'm going to add on just a little dash of salt on each one, not a lot. I'm not adding any salt to the jars. I'm going to sprinkle on some white pepper. You can use black pepper. You can even use cayenne pepper, okay? Whichever you prefer. And then that's it. All I'm going to do now is keep layering this fish on top and keep doing it this way. All right? Once I get all of this fish done this way, look. Once I get it all done this way, you all, I'm going to cover this with foil paper. Yes, I am. Once I cover this fish with foil paper, in the refrigerator it's going, and it's going to sit there for 24 hours. Yes, it is. When this sits in the refrigerator overnight, the liquid is going to start coming out of it anyway. All right? So we're not adding any liquid to this. You're going to see. All right? All right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all done. I'm going to bring you back, and I'm going to show you what it looks like in 24 hours. All right? We'll be back. All right. I'm back. My salmon has been chilling out. This is another pan of smoked salmon. I'm doing multiple batches of the smoked salmon, okay? So this is a batch that I actually had in the refrigerator from yesterday. So now I have 2 more pans of salmon in there. I have another smoked salmon, and I also am doing a teriyaki salmon. That's in the fridge as well. So more than likely I'm going to can up the teriyaki right away. I'm going to leave that smoked salmon in there for until tomorrow, y'all. I ain't fooling with that today. But you all, I wanted to show you with this salmon sitting, just how much liquid comes out of this salmon, right? Just how much water, because it was frozen. So I do not add any liquid to this when I'm marinating it overnight. All right? All I'm going to do now to make this more functional for me is drain off this water, grab my jars, and start getting them packed in. All right, y'all, we are pressure canning. Pressure canning this salmon. This is not water bath, okay? I know they like call it pickling salmon, but don't be confused, all right? Don't be confused. This is not pickling that way like you would do pickles, all right? It ain't like that. This is not water bath. This is pressure canning. And like I said, I do have my wide mouth jars here because it just makes it easier to get the fish in and out of the jars, okay? So you all, I'm going to go ahead now using my foil paper that I have here. I'm going to bring you closer so you can see, but how I put this salmon together to get it in the jars. Alright, you all, so now my fish is cold, and sometimes when the fish is cold it's a lot easier to work with, and you can literally just roll this up like so, and I have 2 pieces of salmon here, okay? And I'm just going to push that down in the jar like that. You see how easy that went in? So that just means I can put more salmon in here. That's 2 pieces, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a third, and I lay them, the way that I lay them is I'll have for example, this is the fat end here, this is more closer to the tail end, so it's thinner, right? I'm going to lay another piece on top with the thin side on this end, okay? Thick side on this, and vice versa. And I have them stacked like that. And if I can roll it completely, that's what I'll do. If not, you all, I will roll it to the best of my ability to get it in the jar. And then I'm just going to mash it down and I'm working it in, okay? As you can see, just mashing it down in. There's no liquid that's going in this jar, okay? There we go. You really do have to finagle this in, and it can be quite messy. All right? So now look at that. That's how that looks. That was 3 6-ounce fillets in the one jar. Okay? I'm going to grab another jar. And depending on the thickness of these fillets, you may or may not be able to roll them all that way, okay? You may have to do just a couple at a time because you may not be able to do it that way, depending on how thick this salmon is, all right? But I'm gonna try. Like, this is way too thick, so I'm just gonna add a smaller piece to this and see if I can finagle the smaller piece into the jar, and I can. Look at there. I'm just mashing it on down in there. How about that? Voila. Okay? And I'm going to move on. Now, that's a really thick piece that I got right here, so I am going to have to try to find a smaller piece to work with that piece, because it's just too thick. Okay? Let me see if I can do one roll on that. Hopefully you all can see that. Finagle that in that jar. Oh wow, that left me with a little room there on the side. And what I'm going to do, I had a piece that was broken. I'm going to come back to that jar. I had a piece that was broken that I'll be able to get down in that jar. Okay? But for now, I'm just going to move on to the next jar. And try to tuck and roll that in. And see if I can get that in the jar easily. This one ain't going to go so... Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it is. There we go. And it even left me with a piece that I can drop into that jar right there. I'm going to mash that down, because this also helps me to push out some of that air, okay? I don't know if you can hear it, but it also helps to push out some of that air, all right? Set that one to the side and grab another jar. I'm going to set that one over there. See, like this piece broke off. I'm going to put that down on the side of that jar. I'm going to add this piece. Yeah, I'm having to be very selective with the pieces that I'm using here to get in this jar, because I want them all to fit. See, I'm just trying to roll it in, right? It might not be a full circle, it might be like a half circle, okay? And then I finagle it into the jar, just like so. Give it a mash. But these are the last 2 pieces of salmon that I have, and I am just rolling them, and down in the jar they are going. This jar is not quite full right here, okay? So what I'm going to do, I do see a jar that is a little bit too high above the 1-inch head space right here. And all I'm going to do, you all, well actually it may not be. Let me debubble this. I got my beautiful debubbler from a beautiful sister who sent this to me, but she knows that I'm always losing mine. So she sent me this one, and man, I'm so glad. So yes, I am using this, you know, because it does help to remove the air from these jars, because when you're pushing it down, sometimes the air finds its way in, okay? So we're just going to go around the jars and move it around a bit and see if we can make sure there's no air just sitting there. We're going to give it a release, okay? And then after I get all of this done, I'm going to come back and wipe all of my rims, okay? I'm going to go ahead and move this around so we don't have any issues. Alright y'all, so now all I'm doing is wiping the rims of these jars, okay? Make sure you all that you are using vinegar to clean these rims, because as you press that salmon down in the jar, the oils and sometimes even the flesh from the salmon can get onto the jar. And if that happens, you all, and you don't properly clean these rims, these jars will not seal, okay? And this is not something you will want to reprocess. If you can this, you are not going to want to reprocess this, because it will not be good, okay? Reason being, these jars have to process for 100 minutes, okay? 100 minutes. These have to process, okay? I don't know if you can see all of that on this paper towel, but we want to make sure that we are cleaning these rims good. We don't want anything to stop us from getting a good seal after we've done all of this work, okay? Alright, so I've cleaned all the rest. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my lids and bands on each one of these jars, okay? Alright you all, so I'm just getting my lids on now. And remember, everything is cold, alright? Fish is cold, jars are cold, my canner is cold, the heat is not on yet, okay? All of this is going to heat up together, alright? So I'm just getting all my lids on. So far I got 12 pints of pink salmon. Okay? Get my bands on. And we're putting these on fingertip tight, okay? Don't crank down on these lids. The air needs to be able to escape from these jars, okay? We just want it tight enough to hold it in place, but the air needs to be able to escape from these jars, so we're just going to do them fingertip tight, okay? And that's it. Don't crank down on it. Alright, now let's get them in the canner. Alright you all, for my canner, I have 3 inches of water in my canner, okay? If you don't know how much water to put in your canner, please read your canner's instructions, okay? Alright. I got 8 pints on the bottom. I'm going to add another rack because I can stack pints in this canner. I'm going to add the last 4 on that rack there. Don't they look awesome? And ooh, they smell so good. That smoky Cajun flavor is all through these jars. It smells so good. Now I'm going to get my lid on, y'all. My rims are already greased, okay? I used petroleum jelly. I'm going to go ahead and crank up the heat on this. And I'm going to tighten down the wing nuts here on opposite sides. Not really tight, okay? Just a little bit until I get them all secured, okay? And then I'm going to come back and tighten them up pretty good, okay? Alright, we got to let this baby come up to pressure. For me, this is going to be 10 pounds on this canner, all right? And once it comes up to pressure, it's gonna, well, once it starts to build up pressure, it's gonna start venting. But we'll talk about that, all right? That steady flow of steam for 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna come back, and like I said, for me, it's 10 pounds of pressure, so I'm gonna put this on the 10-pound side over that vent pipe, only when it's done venting, all right? It ain't started yet. I'm gonna sit that right there. I'm gonna bring you all back and we will see what's happening next, okay? Stick around. All right, you all, so I forgot to bring you back to show you the venting process, but I got a lot of videos where I demonstrate that process, okay? It's just venting. Once this pipe starts shooting out a steady flow of steam, and it's a steady flow of steam, that's venting, okay? And it has to vent like that for 10 full minutes, all right? All right, so mine has done that process. I put my weight on, 10 pounds of pressure. It has come up to pressure. I am at 10 pounds on my gauge here, okay? So now my salmon has to process for an hour and 40 minutes. That's 100 minutes, okay? An hour and 40 minutes. And after that hour and 40 minutes is up, I'm just going to turn off the fire. When I turn off the fire, I'm going to allow this canner to sit here and cool all the way down. It's going to come down from pressure. This gauge is going to be all the way down to 0. And once that happens, we're going to come back, y'all, and we're going to open this canner up, and we're going to pull that nice Cajun smoked salmon right on up out this canner, okay? All right, y'all, stick around. All right, y'all, the time is done. This baby been sitting on this stove for a good 35, 40 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Very little air in there. And I'm going to pop this canner open so we can get these jars on the counter. Woo. I say, open that away from you. Yeah. You know why. Look at these. Oh, man. They smell so good. And they look good. I'm going to bring. Ooh, wee. Y'all, this looks so good. It's got that smoky smell throughout the house in here. Yeah, this is doing it. Oh, yeah. Woo! Y'all, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Look at that salmon. Just absolutely beautiful. I'm going to move it down a little bit. Make room for one more jar I think I got here. Woo! Let's get a good look. Look at that. I don't want to tilt it, but look at that. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? That's just absolutely beautiful, y'all. That's what's up. All right, that's gonna do it. I got 12 pints of Cajun smoked salmon sitting on my counter. I can tell you right now, this gonna be fire. Fire. I'm loving this. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you enjoyed canning along with me. If you did, if you wasn't able to can along with me, that's all right. Just mash play, pause, and rewind if you got to. But y'all can yourself up some salmon, all right? Don't worry, that teriyaki salmon is coming up next. Y'all stay tuned for that. That's going to be good. All right, y'all. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give our video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we upload to our channel. Thank y'all so much again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I'm going to see y'all in the next canning video. Yeah. Oh, sucking now.